So Peggy's seen the squats. She's seen the infamous squats and
Tarzan.
she is disgusted.
Jane
revolted.
has seen Tarzan.
Jane has
Jane
seen
has seen Tarzan, 100%.
Jane has run away from Tarzan.
I can't believe it. Look, I understand what she's saying. I understand her points, which are valid. But she walks off in her long jeans with her butt cut out. Like, is that a hypocrite? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I do not like Peggy. I feel like she's a hypocrite. I feel like she doesn't like George. Let's roll back a little bit. When Peggy is prancing around in her bikini on national television, she is showing off more skin than George is. Let's be real.
Yeah.
So what's your problem, Peggy?
It just means that George has got a lot more work to do to impress me.
And Peggy is a full-blown hypocrite. She's sitting there preaching, sitting there saying, I've got high morals and values, I'm this and that. No, you don't like George. You're never going to give him a chance. You think you are better than everyone else. Even all over your Instagram, I know I've said it before, she's saying, what type of Peggy am I? Am I Peggy in the middle? Am I Peggy Prosecco? Like, get over yourself. All you do is talk about yourself. A little bit like Ella. I feel like Ella and Peggy would get along very, very well because they're very into themselves. You know what I mean? But I like Ella way more than I like Peggy. I'm gonna put it out there. But do you know who I do like, Mars?
Who?
I really like Laura. I really like Laura. Laura is one of my favorite girls. Do you know what? I hate to say this though. I hate to say this. I don't really like, and I know I'm gonna be upsetting the person when I say this. I'm not upsetting Erica, but I know I'll be upsetting Jordan. I really don't like Erica. There's something about Erica. I don't like the way that she talks. I don't like the way that she's very confrontational. She's in your face a little bit, you know. And I know if I say that, it's going to upset Jordan, and I really like Jordan.
Yep.
Because Jordan is very protective. Jordan is very protective of Erica. So if I say something bad about Erica, it's going to upset Jordan. And I really like Jordan.
I wasn't as affected by
Erica's
as
tone.
you were.
Erica's tone affects me. She comes at you like, "Rah!" Like it's like, back off. Back off, Erica. And I feel like Erica and Tasha are very, very similar girls. They are.
That's why they don't get along.
They don't get along because they're very similar. Now, I'm
Yeah.
not saying I don't like Erica. I'm not saying I don't like her. Jordan, I'm not saying that. I really like Jordan. It's just the fact that she's a little bit too, I don't know. There's something about her character that I know wouldn't gel well with me. And what do you think of Peggy and George? What do you think about it? Do you think she's a hypocrite?
I don't know about hypocrite.
Yep.
Because, I mean, look, I don't find... I think her issue is the whole squats part, not the whole... Like, she can wear a bikini. I don't think she sees it as in the same league as him doing squats. She is very judgmental and she's also very degrading. And I think she's belittling George, and I actually don't like to see that. I think if you have an issue, because this is something that George enjoys and George likes, and for you to just sit there and belittle him and make him feel small just because it's not in the mainstream of how you see it, I don't think that's nice. I don't think that's a nice characteristic, and I don't think it's nice to humiliate someone on TV for it.
I think this is embarrassing, humiliating, it's degrading.
My worry is that she's a hypocrite. She's
Yeah,
saying one thing, and doing another. I have massive issues with that. I don't do well with hypocrites.
Yeah, well, I don't like her point of view.
You know, like her point of view.
I
Fair
don't like
enough,
point
you
of
know?
view, and I don't like the judgment.
Yep.
That's
Well,
what I don't like.
yeah, you wouldn't like that. As Laura, she's giving Arthur a lot of tips, and that doesn't bother me at all. Do you know what I mean? As Peggy,
Well, that's because her tips are, she doesn't like the white lies, right?
Oh, I hate white
Peggy's
lies
tips
too.
are, what you're doing is disgusting. I think you're disgusting. That's degrading.
okay.
So I think it's completely different to how Laura handled it.
Okay,
I
yep.
think what Laura said was more of a constructive criticism. I think what Peggy said was degrading.
Okay, awesome, yeah. As I feel like I just don't like Peggy anymore. I don't like how Peggy is so into herself. It's all about Peggy. It's all what Peggy wants, what she needs. She doesn't listen to George. I don't like any of that. I just don't
She doesn't
like
like
Peggy.
George. That's the other thing too.
Yep.
She can sit there and preach her moral values and everything like that. And then like how you said, like she's fine with Ella cheating, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
don't get me started on that one.
I know, that was like, oh, you know, if someone's not interested in someone, it's okay for
Oh.
Ella to cheat.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact if George started looking at someone, that would be
Oh,
a massive
she'd go
ordeal.
nuts. She'd go nuts. I don't
And
like Peggy. The
she's
more you're
done
talking about
nothing
Peggy,
in
it's starting
terms
to
of
make me
affection
angry.
to George. She is Nathaniel right now.
Yep.
Towards George.
Yep.
If you put the situation, it's the same situation.
Yep.
Peggy has put George in a friend zone,
Yep.
like Nathaniel did with Ella.
Yep.
She's not showing him any affection.
Yep.
They're not being intimate. They're not doing anything. Like, she's not giving him anything.
But guess the difference? George is not looking elsewhere. George is doing the right thing
Exactly.
by Peggy.
He's trying.
He's trying, yeah.
She doesn't like it. She doesn't
George, one word, run. Get away from Peggy. She is stunting your growth. She's stunting your life.
I
Get
think
away
she
from
looks
her.
down on him.
I think she shouldn't. I think she shouldn't. I look down on Peggy. I want to peg Peggy down a few pegs. You know what I mean? Because I can't stand her.
Peggy down.
Because every time, I told you guys in the last video, every time I see Peggy, she's going on about herself. And I hate all these little things that she does on her Instagram account. What type of Peggy am I? Am I Prosecco Peggy? Am I Peggy in the middle? Like, it's Peggy, get over yourself. Peggy, get over yourself. That's what type of Peggy you are.
Well,
yeah, I don't like her.
She's online at the moment. I mean, if you're against the whole online thing, what are you doing on Instagram?
Yeah, what are you doing on Instagram all the time?
Don't be on Instagram
No.
and do things on
And
Instagram.
then you're walking off with your butt cheeks showing, girl. Like, if you just bend over, Peggy, you're going to be in a worse show view than George ever was. Honestly, you are.
It doesn't align with my morals and
Hypocrite,
values.
hypocrite.